Hello everyone, this is Uxale speaking, and I'd like to show you a very high damage build, sinister build, created around blinds. The build is really nothing innovative, it's more like a comparison between the focus build and the torch build, uses combination of blinding, dissipation and the ineptitude to cause 1 million confusions, and its main defenses are blinds. Well, that and stealth. Shatters are the utility and damaging role. They heal and condi cleanse me, and this kind of emulates the Chronomancer lockdown, but in different way, because Mesmer is not a Chronomancer. In 1 vs 1s, this is one of the strongest builds I have ever played. Where Scepter Pistol doesn't have many defenses, here I use Shatters to blind my opponent, so I can avoid most enemy hits. If I blind an opponent, I apply Confusion. As the build is sinister, it has very high condition damage combined with respectable power damage. Yet this is not the end of the tricks at this build's disposal. Pistol 5 gives me a chance to stun an opponent, so would the Signet of Domination if I didn't miss. The second weapon set, Sword Torch, is a defensive weapon set, but the burn from the torch is very visible and very high in nature. Sword 2 is a defensive option as well, while the damage comes from Scepter Pistol mostly. The Duelist Phantasm needs to be avoided because of the bleeds and the damage from power component, which lets me connect Scepter 3. This forced the thief to enter Shadow Refuge, and I have never seen him again, so I was able to take the camp. Okay, so now we know that this build is a very powerful duelist, but how does it fare in party play? With Eshiat we have noticed about 8 opponents attacking our tower, so we summoned the others and attacked them. Torch 4 to position myself into opponents, Sword 2 and F1 Shatter with 3 clones to deal as much damage as possible, and leave the fray after using F2 Shatter for more blinds. Enemies were forced to use some cooldowns before reinforcements really arrived. If you look at the minimap, reinforcements are arriving, and between Bleak and Ether Feast most conditions were dropped from me. With enemies in slight disarray after Eshiats and my strikes, a warrior has decided to kill me. So let's talk my build's defenses. First thing is, of course, distortion. Even if my blinds don't stick to the warrior at this moment, he can't hurt me. Then it's Blood Frenzy, a trusted friend of any mesmer who uses sword. Sword 3 to teleport behind the opponent, and F2 Shatter to blind him. Afterwards, Decoy or Portal, depending on what you have. So the crises have been averted, I am able to heal, and now I am in better situation. The main defensive system of this build are blinds. Between a Shatter and Torch 4, the warrior is almost permanently blind. So the key to proper defenses of this build is proper spacing of the shatters. So this build is able to fulfill a damage and control role, with some very minor elements of support, and it can be used as a living bomb type of a mesmer, draining most of enemy defenses, condition clears, in first engagement. In case we don't have an element of surprise, the role is different. This build has 2 options. One is that of an assassin. Select a single target, try to stunlock it, try to put as many conditions as you can on it, and try to get it down and stomp if you can using stealth. Basically, what a thief can do. The second role is that of a controller. Enter the fray, enter the middle of the fight, try to space the shatters to blind them as well as you can, and generally reduce the amount of damage upon your friends, dealing some condition damage but focusing mostly on the blinds. In this particular fight you can witness Mesmer as an assassin. One of the key traits which keeps this build alive is Restorative Illusions, the heal and clear conditions when you shatter in Inspiration line. This trait is so incredibly good I have dropped focus for it. As you can see, between all the blinds, even if I am in the middle of the enemies, I've got quite a lot of hit points and I don't have problems with conditions. This Mesmer build is impossible to emulate using a Chronomancer. Dueling and Illusions are a necessary combination for the blinds and confusions, while Inspiration is important for defenses. Okay, so one last vid which shows you what you can do in a group fight. Having a torch you are able to actually swap mass invisibility for time warp, and in this 8 vs 8 fight it is kind of useful. I could load Gravity Well on a Chronomancer because shield gives me defenses, and in the same way torch let me get time warp. I put it down upon the first downed opponent I have noticed, and combination of quickness for our side, slow on the other side, and that fact that we have actually surprised them with our attack meant we won this one. So there is still an option to experiment a bit, and having proper defenses in here in form of combination of Restorative Illusions and the fact that we've got Torch, means it is possible to actually find a place of time warp and roaming if the group is a bit more organized, 4 people. Here, the shatter was used to drop condition, which unfortunately angered the worm, and the bouncy hilarity ensured. In conclusion, this sinister build looks quite versatile. It is mostly a damage and control role, it really relies on soft conditions, and it cannot be emulated using a Chronomancer. Unfortunately, I could try to use it with Focus, but then I don't have access to Restorative Illusions. This is a major failure of the Focus as a weapon. It kind of didn't age well after all the mesmer changes. So, thank you for watching, Oxalis out.